was waiting for those books to be published, I toyed with the idea of a set of bridge books to span the enormous gap of history between Legends and Rhaenyra. This would later become the Rise and Fall series. But working on that would once more mean a long time between Rhaenyra tales, so I took a break and wrote The Disappearance of Winter's Daughter. Then, because of a policy change at Penguin Random House requiring that they retain audio rights, which we had already sold, we weren't able to license the final books in the Legends of the First Empire to Penguin. What's more, the division broke awkwardly, 4 with them and 2 with us. Given that that particular series is more akin to 2 closely related trilogies, Robin managed to regain rights to Age of Legend and tip the scales back to a 3-3 combination. The happy byproduct of that renegotiation made it possible to publish The Disappearance of Winter's Daughter in limited release as early as 2017. What this all boils down to is that the last Rhaenyra book was published 7 years ago. Given this, would it be worth the time to write another? Was anyone still interested in Royce and Hadrian? Did anyone care? As it turned out, I had posed this question in several prior books and listed my email address to obtain the answer. Several people took the time to write. Here is some of what they said. I have heard you say in introductions to your books that you want to know if we want more. I just wanted to tell you yes. More Royce and Hadrian, please. Your books with these characters are tremendous. You asked if readers want more to let you know. I want more. So, I had just finished The Death of Dulgath, and I'm confident I could read 100 more Hadrian and Royce adventures. I'm just wondering if there are any more recent adventures for Hadrian and Royce. Miss those guys. There are hundreds of others along this line, which made me think that maybe, possibly, it was time to write another. There was an additional factor influencing the writing of this novel. Readers who had just finished the Legends of the First Empire series and the 3 books of the Rise and Fall were a bit stressed out. The stakes had gotten higher, the drama more, dramatic. And there were more than a few heartbreaks along the way. They longed for a respite and asked for something fun, something more slice of life, something that didn't include world-ending stakes or the death of a beloved character. What they longed for was a good old-fashioned Rhaenyra holiday. Now, I never write in response to readers' desires. I have only ever written the stories I want to read. Best that way, really. Writing for other people would make my time at the keyboard a labor instead of a joy. Except there is one reader who has the power to sway me, and she needed a little happiness brought back during some trying times. So that's what I set out to write. A little book that appealed to my wife's desires to just spend some time with 2 characters she loved, Royce and Hadrian. Problem is, these 2 can't help themselves. Trouble has a habit of finding them. Here, then, is Drumindor, another story that many already know the end to, which began as a fun, carefree romp, which somehow grew into so much more, something wholly unexpected, and something I hope you will enjoy. But before I turn you over to Tim, I do have an announcement. Please stay tuned. Michael J. Sullivan, September 2024. The Cycle Project. With the completion of the Rise and Fall series and now Drumindor, some of you have asked, what's next? And you haven't just inquired. I've received suggestions. Some of you want to see a story about the First War, others the early years of Royce and Hadrian. Although, after the release of The Rose and the Thorn, after seeing how Royce used to be in the old days, I'm seeing fewer requests for that. By far the top request, however, has been for a post-Rhaenyra Revelations book or series. To understand why I've resisted this idea.